now we straight chillin', serial killing, pre-cold villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star rated from the floor to the ceiling. If you catch a 1-star, no time for feelings. Got a team and DJ on the ones and twos. By the name Beelzebub, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all over two, and prepare to hear the legend of the straight chillin' crew.
What up, nerds, and welcome to another rockin' episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 431, recorded Sunday, July 9th, 2023. Tonight, we are talking about another Patreon pick. This one was chosen by the one, the only Hydraberg. The movie is everybody's favorite classic horror film, Rock and Roll Nightmare from 1987. Before we get into the review, let me introduce everyone else on the show. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy Randy. What's up, man?
Randy! How's it going, brother? You ready to rock?
I'm ready to roll.
All right. This is going to be the most riveting and thought-provoking conversation we have ever had. I am positive of that.
There's a lot
Just so
happening.
many fucking layers. At least one, and it's a shirt that quickly gets popped off.
Oh, those juicy, succulent pecs. 5
God.
stars. Spoiler warning, 5 stars.
So plump, so right.
Can't wait to soap them up. Last but not least, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got your boy Soju. What's up, man?
Oh, what up? It's your boy Beelzebub Stains. Ready to rock. I want to rock, fish.
That's my boy Bub.
My boy
Staines.
Bub.
Bub. With the cleanest pecs you ever did see.
Dude, I wish I was popping pecs like that.
Gotta pop them Canadian metalhead pecs, baby.
Dude,
I need to work on my pecs game.
This man's name is John Michael Thor, but like John Jon Michael Mikl.
Yeah.
Michael. Who spells their name that way? I just don't. And then Thor.
That's originally his last name.
John Michael.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's according to
Michael,
Wikipedia.
Michael?
His original
Michael,
last
Michael?
name. Thor is a term of art. So
No, that's God given.
look,
I refuse to believe that. Well, we got a weird ass movie we're talking about. I think we're all really excited about it too. But we have to handle some business first. Let's tackle some housekeeping real quick. We do have a poll currently posted on our Patreon website. If you support us at the $5 level or above, you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this August. The theme for August is robot murder, and the 3 movies to vote between are The Terminator, the original RoboCop, and Prometheus.
Whoa, Bob! How are those numbers looking? Feels good to be back in our regular roles.
I know. Whew.
We forgot to say the bitch is back.
The bitch is back. And the bitch is indeed Bob.
Thank God.
The numbers look weird, if I'm being honest.
Dude, yeah, we were freaking out last week.
I'm freaking out this week. Prometheus is winning like by a fucking country mile. Like
Stomping dong. Yeah.
stomping mad dick.
Dong.
Stomping mad robot dick.
Yeah.
That's all right.
And
Tetsuo style.
I think RoboCop is in second place and Terminator's in third, but it doesn't even really matter because Prometheus is winning by it's got like 60% of the vote or something.
Isn't that some
Holy
shit?
shit, man.
Huh.
Crushing.
Huh. All right.
You know, we just don't know what our listeners want.
We do
have
not,
no
apparently.
idea.
Look,
This
I
week is
cannot
gonna be
believe you're just realizing this. I've been saying this for years.
We are apparently not men of
accidentally
the
know.
people.
We fall ass backwards into any of our successes. You guys understand, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry about our asses, but not really. Not
No,
that
I'm-
sorry.
Not ready to apologize for my ass just yet. Let's
Thank
get into
God.
this movie first.
Mine's a
Let
sweet
them-
cherry ass, so I'm not
Let them
apologizing
cheeks
for that.
fly.
Speaking of red cheeks, is there anything new on that front?
Oh, yeah. Anyway, get your votes in before the end of the month. We'll see what we're talking about this
Let's
August.
talk about our asses some more.
We do. So,
Feeling
yeah,
pert.
right Rain is asking if anybody's been slapping the shit out of our assholes this week, and the answer is yes. The person who's been
It's
slapping
the
the
most
shit
grotesque
outside.
way of putting that possible. Slapping the shit out of our ass.
Well, you gotta get in there, you know.
There's a
Well,
spot they say if you slap somebody's ass in just
Just
the right
right.
spot, it just shoots off like confetti.
You just launch shit outside of
It's
your
like
asshole.
a firework popper.
And that's precisely what our friend Lizzie B over here is doing, slapping the absolute dog shit outside of our assholes. Thank you, Lizzie.
Damn.
Thank you, Lizzie, for doing that.
Oh,
we
that was the salute.
yeah, we gotta do it.
You got me
again.
giggling,
Straight-
and my trigger
straight
finger
chillin'
got
salute.
light.
Straight chillin' salute for
Yes.
Lizzie.
Salute to you, which is slapping
Oh.
asses. If you
Oh,
need
yes.
that joke explained.
Slap, 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 slap my asshole.
Are we doing it
yes.
again?
we
Okay,
do.
Oh,
sure.
sure. I thought
Well,
so.
yeah,
but I
let's
guess
do it
not.
Okay, well, here we go. 3, 2.
Oh, thank God.
That's for if
Thank
you
God.
support us on Patreon. For anyone who's very confused about what's happening right
Thank you.
now,
Thank you for.
I think we
Giving
are
us money on
confused about
Patreon.
what's happening right now.
for
Certainly
all
I
the
am.
people who specifically tune in for this movie who's never heard of us before.
We've lost them. We've
That's-
lost them.
Those 3 or
Uh,
4 people are just devastated.
But thank you for supporting us on Patreon, Lizzie, for sure. Any of you guys listening that do support us on Patreon, as you know, every dollar goes right back into the show. It truly does help us keep this train rolling, for better or for worse. Thank you. We got minicasts. Speaking of Patreon, we got minicasts coming out every other Friday. We're over 100 minicasts now, so if you support us at the $10 level or above, you get access to that whole back catalog of Patreon exclusive episodes. Your boy Soju just dropped one this past Friday talking about Beau is Afraid, which apparently is a motherfucking wild movie from Ari
Oh
Aster.
yeah, you still
5
haven't
stars?
seen it.
I'm
Dude.
watching
Oedipal
it this
arrangement.
week.
Not quite 5 stars.
5.5 stars.
Well, yes.
Oh man.
Cool. Tight.
It's
All
got
right.
the Yabos and the Dong to earn that score. 5.5.
Boy,
So-
does it ever.
They cancel each other out.
More than you could ever imagine.
Thank God. Oh,
So
yes.
plump, so right.
Oh yeah.
That bump's gonna get a lot of play today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. Next up, we're going to be dropping another mini cast on Friday, August 7th. It's going to be the next one.
Nice.
And yeah, the 7th. I don't know. It's going to be Candyland. I'm talking about Candyland.
7th? No, it's 17th.
17th. I don't know. I definitely wrote down the wrong dates.
Yeah,
that's
definitely not.
July 21st. Simple math. 2 weeks from the 7th. July 21st. That's
Okay,
when it's
yeah.
going
Man,
to be
it's-
dropping.
It's really
Mhm.
awesome to have somebody else fucking up again. This is
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, here you go.
Not so, Jew.
Minicast. Yeah, I got a minicast in the can talking about a movie called Candyland. It's on DOD right now. I rented it for like $2. It came out January this year. It's an interesting ass movie, actually. It's kind of like a weird take on a slasher movie. It's about a group of sex workers that hang around a truck stop in the 70s, and there's some murders afoot. There might be a cult in the mix, and there's some really solid performances and some decent gore. It's actually got I forget the actress's name, but she is in It Follows. She's the girl with like the clamshell reader.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
that
She's in-
phone
she's
is
in
one
it.
of the 3 main things I remember about that fucking
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like right up
It's-
there.
It's an interesting like grindhouse slasher movie, but like not quite that, but like kind of that. It's good. Like aesthetically, I think they really nail it. But I liked it. Check it out. Yeah, Candyland. That's
Cool.
next
All right.
up.
Yeah, that
Um,
wasn't even on my radar. I'll check it out.
Underneath the radar. Jeez, we got some YouTube stuff. I think.
Oh, we got all kinds of stuff coming out. Also, first, let's celebrate the fact, boys, we're in spooky season. It's official. This is our
True.
busy season. This
Pumpkins.
is when we really start to take off. Yeah, there it is. The pumpkins.
Lift
Bob.
off.
It's
The
time.
people have been shitting the bed about that bump not being played enough. So
Yeah.
Pumpkins.
Oh yeah,
Oh God, yes.
Pumpkins.
it's
Pumpkins.
pumpkin season.
pumpkins to
Ah.
completion, bish.
Complete my pumpkin.
But yes, talking about some YouTube stuff. So, just for the next week, we'll probably wrap it up within the next week, but we're going to be continuing our festival coverage for the Chattanooga Film Festival as well as the BFON Film Festival. One of the things that's going to be featured from that is I got an opportunity to sit down with a director who's actually from our hometown. That's right, Jacksonville, Florida has an award-winning director now to our name. So, woo, let's celebrate that, boys.
Just
It's
now.
it's a rare jewel for Jax to get this kind of like international acclaim. We're all real proud of our boy. So
Yeah.
We're super stoked about it. And also, like, what are the chances that he would be at this festival in Korea? And then we've got our boy Soju from Jacksonville living in Korea, and they can meet up. Like, what are the chances?
It was pretty
like, what's your mojo sauce, bro?
That was our whole discussion. But no, yeah, I sat down with director Franklin Rich. He had a film come out recently called The Artifice Girl that's been getting a lot of buzz, a lot of play. It's a great film, a great kind of like testament to independent film too, I think, and the way that he filmed it and went about making it and everything like that. And it won 2 awards at BFON. So not only did I get to interview this man, but I got to see this Jacksonville dude stroll up and get the jury and audience award in fucking South Korea with me, like
that's
literally like
nice
front and center. Yeah. So
did you scream Duval? Tell me you screamed Duval. I need that to be true.
Well, I'll say yes just for your
oh my
mind.
God.
And then he took
that exists. I don't care what anybody says. That is
he
what
shotgunned a Duval light straight to the dome. Fucking
just shotgunning Dukes Brown and yelling Duval, just like Mama told me.
But yeah, so that's going to be bonus content that's going to be coming out. Maybe not even exclusively to YouTube. That's something we got to work out. But yeah, that's going to be an interview with the director Franklin Rich of The Artifice Girl. I recommend everyone check it out. It is available, so even though it's still playing at the festivals, that is something that you could rent or stream at this point.
Nice.
And also, if you want a little bit of what Rob and I thought about it, we did cover it a little bit in our Overlook Film Festival recap episode some months back now. So
yeah, that was on when I did it too, because it was one of the films I watched as well. So that's on my Overlook wrap up as well. It's on YouTube.
I guess I've forgotten what we all did there. This is not a good machine that we're running here.
Well, you can watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it on fucking any podcatcher. We got you everywhere. That's all.
And we'll probably touch on it just a little bit too when we do our BFON stuff as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also too, me, Bob, and Randy have all been posting a bunch of articles on our website, straightchillingpodcast.com. Actually getting some use out of that website now. But yeah, so we just been kind of going through each one of the films that we've had the opportunity to watch and just kind of giving our spoiler-free thoughts on them. I think there's about 10 up there at this point. There's probably going to be more by the time this episode comes out. So kind of getting through all those, and should be coming out at least consistently for like the next week or so until we kind of run through them. So
maybe there's more film festivals to come.
Let's hope.
We kind of gauntleted a little bit here, but in
God.
the future we'll see what's coming up.
Hopefully there's more opportunity for shaboys.
Oh my God. Cool. Joe Bob watch party last Friday. Thanks to everybody that hung out. We're going to be doing it for 2 more weeks, and I think that's going to conclude season 5 of The Last Drive-In. So if you do want to join in our watch party this Friday or the following Friday, check all of our social media outlets, and I'll drop a link just before 9 p.m. Eastern, so you can jump into the chat, watch the show, and chat it up.
Cool.
That's all I got. Randy, you got anything?
Aside from the coverage on the site, which I was going to bring up, Juice already covered that, so we should be good. I think that maybe our house is clean.
Gracious.
This house is clean.
Whew. All right, let's get into the main event. We are talking about Rock and Roll Nightmare, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Is there a box, Bob?
He's got it.
What is it? Vinegar syndrome? What is it? What is
It's
it?
a
Who's putting out this
Synapse,
box?
Synapse DVD. I don't think this exists on Blu-ray, which
Oh.
why? I just couldn't tell you. It should be on 4K.
I need to talk to you about the quality of that DVD as soon as you're done with this recap because I'm very interested to know more.
Dude, it was on sale. I'll tell you that.
I hope so.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Oh man, there's a lot of words on the back of this box. Rock and Roll Nightmare from 1987, rated R, runtime of an hour and 23 minutes.
Is that all? Just
Plot synopsis brought to you by the back of the box.
only an hour and 23, you say?
I know. Are you sure?
Want to
you
double
They're in
check
dog
that?
minutes.
Honestly,
Sure,
I
that's
think
not
it was shorter.
European time or something. You know,
Yes.
use that.
It was just
The
different.
old metric time.
The old magic.
Canadian time. They're fucked up there. All that poutine. All right, plot synopsis, back of the box, yada yada. A hot new rock group, their sexy young girlfriends. It should have been the best time of their lives, but it ended up being Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Hot
That's
and
enough.
walk-
That's enough.
I don't know.
I'm
I
not
don't.
reading anymore.
That's
That's funny.
That's a plenty.
They go to a farmhouse and the shit gets murdered. It's fine.
shit gets murdered.
Shouts outs to Heidelberg for making us watch this. Part of our
You know,
Pick the Flick.
We've had a lot. We've had a run of pretty cool you pick picks.
Yeah, couldn't
And
have.
Heidelberg just had to come in here and just lay down the law and remind us just how beholden we are to this shit.
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. This was
You're gonna
directed
hear a
by
lot of this today.
Well, I hope not.
This is directed by your boy John Fasano, written by John Michael Thor, stars Cindy Surreal, Jesse D'Angelo, Chris Finkel, John Michael Thor, of course, and a bunch of other folks that you definitely know for sure. Gentlemen, have you seen this movie before, and would you recommend people check it out? Ray and Deezy, kick us off.
Oh no, I had definitely not seen this before. I was operating under the assumption, just based on the title and the era this came out, that this was one of a slew of sort of like Satanic Panic adjacent rock and roll parables. I don't know. There was a lot of like B movies that came out around this time that were centered around rock and roll and horror, but it was kind of like weirdly like rock and roll musicians who like, you know, like rock and roll and want to promote it, but just basically leaning into the idea that they're like of Satan and that it will fuck your mind up and stuff. It was very strange. So I assume that's what this was, and that's not what this is. So yeah, it was very new for me, and I cannot in good conscience recommend this unless you're maybe watching the Riff Tracks version of it. Maybe there's something fun about that. But yeah, and that does exist, by the way, to give you an idea of where we're at with this movie. So no, not a big recommend from me. Might be something you could throw on in the background and laugh at while you're partying and drinking and stuff, but I wouldn't sit down and make a night of it.
Right on. Juice, what about you?
Yeah, so I'd seen this several times. I kind of grew up with this movie. I watched it when I was probably like 3 or 4 for the first time, and
The devil is a motherfucking liar.
It's
so
something
you know
that-
I ain't worried.
it's
Biatch.
really close to my heart, and I think one of the most underrated kind of horror gems of the 80s. I think it gives
God.
a lot of really great insight into the world of 80s kind of hair metal, that culture.
I need this bit to be over.
No,
Ripcord
but
piece.
Randy did. So
to fuck off.
I of course had never watched this movie. It's dog shit. But one thing I would recommend that Randy
Just being slapped out of your asshole? Or-
yeah, that's the kind.
Okay,
Oh,
all right.
yeah. Oh, yeah. By Heidelberg.
Yeah,
Sucked out of the
specifically.
ass.
That's just desserts at that
Sucked
point.
No, but one thing that I watched it on YouTube, and the guy who posted it had like less than 3,000 subscribers, and at one point I was having trouble hearing what people were saying, so I turned on the closed captions, and this guy had written his own kind of like riff tracks closed captions, which
That's
made
amazing.
the rest of my watch infinitely better.
I'm jealous.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So I'll probably like throw that up because I was happy to have that for maybe the last like 30 minutes of this, because some of it was quite funny. So yeah,
I'm
this
so
was my first
jealous.
watch. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, man.
That's what happens when you steal media, Bob.
You fucking win every time.
Bob, over to you.
Some media just can't be. You can't give that shit away. So I mean,
how would you recommend people watch this?
So lightly. It's not a good movie. You don't need to see. I actually had this is my second watch, and like I had to really pay attention this time. Yeah, I just had this already and had seen it before, and I didn't really care for it then, and I don't really care for it now. It's not a very good movie. You're not missing a whole lot.
Okay.
But I look forward to shooting on it with you guys. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Let's do it.
Thanks.
can I ask you a quick question about that?
Yeah.
About that DVD now. I just want to know, like, is it just a terrible VHS transfer like the version I saw on like Amazon Prime or whatever it was?
No, it did not look like a VHS transfer.
Okay, so there does exist a better version. That's good, because the one I saw was not good.
It looked decent. Could definitely not like taken off of a VHS tape. It did not look that bad. I would have been pissy about it. But
dude, I watched it. I just remembered I watched it on an app that I had not heard of called Raygun, and the tagline is "Movies so bad they're good." And when that's how you were leading your app, like your that's your thesis statement, you can bet that that's only true of about 1% of the films on there.
Yeah, that's not great. That sounds like not a recommendation from the Straight Chilling crew. So stay tuned. Just listen to the rest of the show, and you'll probably enjoy it. Most likely.
Maybe. I don't know.
We're gonna spoil the shit out of Rock and Roll Nightmare. Here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
You okay?
Who? What's going on?
I don't know. Bob gave us a weird look. What's happening?
I don't know what Bob's doing right now.
Me neither. Bob?
What is your giggle fest about here, motherfucker?
What are you doing? Oh God.
I wonder if we're having tech issues.
I guess so.
2 seconds.
Okay. Did Bob forget to hit record?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Boy, what could the payoff to this be?
I don't know. Did we just get a new voicemail? No, we did not. Behind the scenes.
Yeah, this is
so building the tension.
We actually do cut out some awkward silences.
We do.
That's the shit you can't get on the final edit.
This is why I throw this up on YouTube so late. I still haven't uploaded it. Fucking last week. Oh God.
Those 3 views are gonna be just heartbroken.
They're wondering. The librarian's like, where's Cabin in the Woods behind the scenes?
Would just love to know what's happening.
Are you okay?
Yeah, we do have to redo a little. I'm not totally sure what happened. But the back of the box, it's like when I hit the back of the box bump, it stopped recording.
Weird.
I guess I grazed. I must have hit something. I don't know. But we didn't. We don't have to redo the whole thing. Just from.
Well, it's okay.
From
That was
the back
dog
of the
shit anyway.
box.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
So I'll hit record, and then I guess ask me about the back of the box again.
Do you want to do the bump, or do we need to lead you into the bump again?
No,
So
I'll
it's-
just hit record.
That's
and then
like
I
all
can-
the recommendations and everything too.
Yeah, like as soon as I hit back of the box bump, it like stopped. So
Gotcha.
I'll hit record and I can point, and then you can ask me like, "Oh, do you have the back? Do you have the box or whatever?" And I'll be like, "It's fucking dog shit box, etc., etc." And we'll just do that real quick again.
So no
Okay.
bump, right?
No, you don't have to play the bump again.
Cool.
You guys are ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, Bob, let's get that back of the box going.
I do indeed own this box.
How much did you pay for that box, Bob?
I paid 8,000 Canadian for this
So,
box.
so was that like
Wow.
$2?
Yeah, it was on sale. They were basically giving it away.
Come
So,
on, Canada, up your currency here.
I don't think that's
Oh,
a Canadian
work.
currency issue. I think that's this movie issue.
I see.
No, it's worth every red cent.
I don't know.
Are the cents red in Canada? We just
Probably
don't know.
not.
Every poutine soaked cent.
Jesus
Worth
Christ.
it.
Back to the poutine, as always.
It's all I know. That and hockey. And maple syrup soaked scent.
And Mike
Um,
Myers.
What a gem.
Yeah. Not Michael, but Mike. Yeah, I got this on the DVD special edition put out from the fine folks at Synapse. It's worth your money.
No, it's not.
It's not.
What?
Don't buy it. It's just stream it.
That was
Just stream it.
oh, shit.
It's Rock and Roll Nightmare from 1987, rated R with a runtime of an hour and 23 minutes. Directed by John Fasano, written by John Michael Thor, stars Cindy Serile, Jesse D'Angelo, Chris Finkel, of course, your boy John Michael Thor, a bunch of other folks. Plot synopsis brought to you by the back of the box is as follows. A hot new rock group, their sexy young girlfriends. It should have been the best time of their lives, but it ended up being a rock and roll nightmare. We've all been there.
We've all been there in some capacity.
We've all lived it. We know what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, have you seen this before? Would you recommend people check it out? Randy, kick us off.
Sure thing. Yeah, no, I have not seen this film. You might be shocked to hear
I
such a
am.
thing, but no, I have not seen this. I was operating under the assumption that this was part of that little cadre of films from a similar time that was rock and roll like personalities, like John Michael Thor, who is a metal guy, but like that came out and was sort of like leaning into the satanic panic a little bit and like more or less showing themselves and their music destroying either themselves or their listeners or their fans and turning into demons and shit. That's not really what this is. It's a little in that samey category though. But yeah, I cannot recommend this movie. Honestly, this is not a good movie by most metrics. I would say that if you're going to watch it, the only way that I would see as viable is watching the riff tracks or some other jokey version of this. Because it's going to be pretty rough on its own. Or if you're in a room full of buddies drinking and barely paying attention and just riffing on it yourselves. Those are the ideal scenarios for this movie. Otherwise, you don't want to sit down and make a night of this movie.
I agree with that. Juice, what about you?
Oh, yes, I would recommend this. I grew up with this film, watching it at the right young age of 3 or 4, really big into the Twisted Sisters, your Poisons, your Deep Leopards and whatnot. And
Oh yeah.
so No, don't watch this movie. Actually, if you are forced to watch this movie, like Hydraberg has made us do, I would recommend watching it on YouTube for free, where there are some additional personal closed captions included, which is how I watched this, which made this film a lot more enjoyable for me, because there were some things like there was one point where he says something like I've been alone the whole time or something, and it says something like just fucking myself or something. It just there's like just awesome little extra add-ins.
High wit.
Yeah, just extra little add-ins for the closed caption that this guy posted this movie and then just went through the whole movie and just wrote his own closed captions to it. So
prepare to laugh your guts out through your asshole.
I was not prepared, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Well, I enjoyed it.
Thoroughly is a bridge too far. I
gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, no, I would not recommend you watch this. It's pretty bad. Bob, how about you?
No, don't do it. Don't watch it.
Is this a first time watch for you, Bob?
No,
I'm sure it was.
Second time.
Oh,
second
what?
time.
What? 2 times?
Because I had to do it. I was honor bound.
Why did you do it the first time?
Again?
Yeah.
Curiosity. Ignorant curiosity.
Ignorant curiosity.
Bob, you ignorant slut.
I like maple syrup, so I figured, what the hell?
Okay.
I got Cronin.
Yeah, that tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't worry about it. Not a recommendation. Not a recommendation from the Straight Chilling crew. Let's go ahead and get into the main event. We're gonna spoil the shit out of this movie, and here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
I love that the show's going nice and smooth now that the bitch is back, you know.
The bitch is back.
Yeah, this is the point. This is the point at which everything collapsed from the first take of this episode, and we had to redo a bunch of shit.
The bitch
So-
is back.
If we sounded even weirder than normal before, now you know. Now you know why.
They didn't know.
Head towards YouTube, see what happened on the behind the scenes to get the full
fascinating.
story.
They know.
I would watch
now.
it twice. Give us those views.
Yeah.
They know now.
Watch it 10 times. In fact,
Yeah.
if
It's
everybody
really hot.
watched it 10 times, we'd get 100 views. So please do.
The world would be a better
Please.
place. That's for sure.
Please.
Bob, do you have
Um,
a plot synopsis for this?
I don't. And the reason being
Mm-hmm.
is your boy Hyderberg has his own show, A Cut Above.
What?
In
I've
which-
never heard of it.
Yes, you fucking have, you lying
Oh,
slut.
it doesn't ring a bell.
Well, let me inform you. It's a horror movie review show. You get it anywhere you get your podcasts. And your boy Hyderberg is a bit of a poet. He writes,
A wordsmith,
Poetry.
you might say.
he smiths the words.
Mm-hmm.
And he summarizes film in the form of poems, in which he has done so for us this evening for Rock and Roll Nightmare. You don't have to listen to my summary. Instead, you're going to be graced with one of Heidelberg's poems, which he calls his reach-arounds. So please, enjoy. Now.
A tale about an epic man who drives around in his bitchin' van, a chariot to transport his band, to rock across this rockless land, and fill the air with horny hands, hands that pluck and strum the bass, a drummer with Australian tastes. As groupies flock upon the house, a possessed manager frees bosoms from within their blouse. A band like this deserves the babes, and all that comes with wealth and fame. But first survived Beelzebub's game. A hero shows why he's the best, with armored groin and massive chest. As he transforms, he has to flex. This film is filled with awkward sex. But Triton is and remains the best, and beats his evil with a dance. His biceps put it in a trance. This demon never stood a chance. This battle is one for the history pages, a sound that is the Rock of Ages.
Boys, that brought up a good point that I like to lead with is I wonder, do you think this is the closest we've gotten to covering a softcore porn?
Yes.
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. this is the softest core of all because they
We've-
don't really show a whole lot.
I mean, we've done some movies that have a lot of nudity, but like the
Yeah.
quality and the way that this is crafted is
Soft
it's
core
starting,
porn.
yeah, to lean
will
away
say
from just
we-
a regular
we-
movie.
We've covered stuff that's more just like pornographic, but like
Yeah,
soft
yeah,
core specifically, this is kind of
Okay.
spot on. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I
even
decided that I'm lonely.
well, just in the idea of like if there was maybe one or two more lengthy sex scenes, then at that point you could just consider it a straight
it's
porn.
just a-
then, right?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Dude,
Okay.
it is right there on the line. It's
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
Man, and they really this movie pads time. Think about that. This movie is 80 minutes long and
Mhm.
it pads time with extra sex scene at least 3 times.
Feels a lot
This-
longer than that.
I have
Mhm.
there's a lot of trivia, and I'm just gonna talk about it throughout the conversation. But speaking of padding the time, this movie came in at, I guess it would be about 70 minutes. They were 10 minutes short of being considered like a feature-length film. So they just shot the van driving around for 10 minutes, which happens during the intro credits. And they cut that shit into the movie to try and get it up to length. So like that's why the intro is so fucking long.
Let's
John-
just
They
shoot
didn't have
another
another-
sex scene.
Let's just
They didn't
do
have
it.
like 10 more minutes of John Michael Thor waxing poetic about the country of Canada, talking about its great industries and its wonderful opportunities.
all
and its
that maple
delightful
syrup.
foods and all those things. I mean, if you're this movie starts out with him like the first interaction we get with this band, besides watching them drive a van, is getting out complaining about this barn that they're staying in, this farmhouse, and then John Michael Thorpe being like, somebody's like, why Canada? And he's like, Canada's great, and he launches into this thing. I feel like this movie had to be subsidized by the Canadian government, except for the fact that it absolutely definitely was not.
It was not.
It could not have been.
Absolutely not.
Because John
Also-
Michael Thorpe just loves his country. Good for him.
Also, too, there's at least 2, maybe 3 full songs in this
Dude.
movie too that are at least like
Yeah.
3.5 minutes long.
You hear the whole fucking song whether you like it or not.
Yes, you do.
And
I
I
mean,
love
it's-
that it's supposed to be them performing in a barn, but it's got all these layered vocals and shit.
Dude.
I guess they're there to record a record, to write and record like their next record. You don't ever see them like write or work anything out. It's just they're in the barn playing entirely finished songs, which they are very clearly not playing their instruments, by the way.
Well,
But
Yes.
like they're never
No,
like
no.
working through anything.
No,
at
they're just
all.
like, let's go play in the barn, and they play a full
gotta go
song,
write
and then
Full
some
song.
other shit happens. Yeah.
And then they
Yeah.
fuck, and then they play a full song,
Yeah.
and then they fuck.
That's
and-
that's pretty much the rotation of
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on here.
Yeah.
They complain about each other sometimes. Occasionally, they'll eat some food for too long, and then
Yeah,
fuck
that's
for
just
the
bone it out.
record.
Yeah. But I was wondering because last year that Foo Fighters movie came out and it's
Yeah.
very kind
Studio
of similar to
666.
this. Yeah, that
Yeah.
premise. And I have to wonder, I mean, Dave Grohl probably saw this, don't you think?
I don't think
know,
you'd have
man.
to
I
see this
don't
to get
think
the same
so.
idea. really.
Well, okay, yeah.
I don't
don't
think
think
that
so.
this exactly is breaking ground that nobody else is going to come across alone.
They're very similar in theme. I
Yeah.
agree, but like I don't know that this like inspired. Like
I haven't
I'd be
seen-
surprised if you saw.
Let's reach out. Let's find out.
Yeah.
I'll call
Dave.
I've got his
Get
number.
Dave
I'll
on the
call
horn.
him.
Yeah.
My
No,
boy
I feel
Dave.
like I like it's Dave Grohl and like the Foo Fighters doing their Studio 666 movie. It really seems like they were definitely in on the joke. Like they understood what they were making.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I am absolutely sure that's not the case here. I'm pretty fucking sure.
So
I think there's
more
maybe there's
trivia.
okay,
Oh.
go for it. Yeah.
I am. So I tried to listen to after I watched this movie, and on the disc there's a commentary. It's like, let me check out this commentary, and I made it like
Got
maybe
an
20,
iron will.
20
son.
minutes.
Bob,
Dude,
you
I
sure
did
are
not finish.
dedicated to this podcast.
I do my best. I did not finish, but it was slightly illuminating at the beginning of the movie. The director was talking about how this movie basically exists because someone was dared to make a movie for $100,000. The director was like, you know what? I can make $100,000 movie. I bet you that. I'll put up half. You put up half. Turns out the other guy didn't put up half, so we made this movie for $52,000 total.
Damn.
In 7 days, this movie was shot in 7 fucking days for $52,000.
Damn.
And when they were getting towards the end of the week, one of the producers or the guy that owned the house, I forget exactly how it worked out, but there was a guy that had a family emergency. They thought they had 3 days left to shoot, and the dude walked up to the director and was like, "Hey, I have to leave tomorrow, so anything you left that you need to film, like you have to just do it today, and that's all you get." So like,
Yeah, no, I'm living in a nightmare.
that was it, and he made this movie, which
which
fine.
exists.
It does exist.
This is what I will say. This for this movie, like it feels like one of those movies where like you can see there was some effort put into this by people that just don't know exactly what they're doing. Like I feel that there's like a low level of charm to that here, that where I can see what they're going for. I can see what they're like attempting to do, and they're things going wrong like that or whatever. It's to be expected under the best circumstances to some degree. So to have this clearly amateur production release what it ended up getting is understandable, and it adds a humanity to it that's lacking in the actual script and story. So
yeah, they paid each one of the actors $100 for the entire shoot each.
Well, I mean, to be
$100.
fair, if that's only 4 days, then $25
to fuck off.
But 25 American dollars or Canadian dollars?
Canadian.
Well, then that's not.
That's
a deal.
pennies. That's
really taking
pennies. Like
we're really
maybe
taking
10
the
of them.
Canadian dollar to task today.
That won't even get you a bucket of poutine.
A bucket.
A bucket. No. Buckets are an American measurement unit for sure.
KFC
Can I get that
poutine in buckets.
large bucket of cola, please?
Yeah.
I think we're out of buckets. Will you take a dump truck? Is that all right?
Well, I might not finish it, but it
50
sounds like
cents more.
a steal. Yeah.
I'll throw it in the deep freeze.
Dump truck of cola.
Can I get that fried? Can you fry up that dump truck of cola, please?
Yeah, we'll do a mayonnaise floater for you.
Ooh,
Complimentary.
Jesus Christ.
Speaking of like insane food and shit, whoever owned this house definitely owned a restaurant, or at least at one point did. Because if you notice, like throughout the entire house, there's just like restaurant grade shit. There's like a giant like double stack like drip coffee maker in the kitchen, and then they go down to the basement when they're like trying to like get their fuck on in the basement. There's this giant crate that's labeled like taco fixins or like taco mix or some shit.
That sounds Canadian.
We got that taco fixins down here.
It's
it's just all together.
Taco meat box or whatever, and they have like
tomatoes, sour cream,
like,
beef.
It's all in this crate.
You just slurp it up with a straw.
Yeah,
they had like
you just have like a little nozzle, like a igloo cooler.
They had like a giant orange crush sign at some point. Like it's just like random shit that you wouldn't have if you didn't have like a restaurant or like know somebody that had a restaurant. It felt like weird and out of place.
Dude, they must have also owned some dope fashion store too, because the fashion in this is popping.
That's just how they dress in Canada, dude. That's just they let it breathe.
Dude, what do you think your favorite outfit in this movie was?
Impossible to choose. Impossible. Like there's so much John Michael Thor chest in this, regardless of wearing a shirt or not. It does not matter if he's wearing a shirt. You're getting a full eye of both pecs at all times.
Yeah. My favorite outfit he wears is just the soapy titties on his chest. That's my favorite.
We do.
Well, that's good because it takes up like 10 minutes of scene.
It does. It does. I like is he the manager? Phil. He's got that shirt that's made out of guitars.
I don't know what it is, but every movie that exists about from I guess this era or whatever, every movie that has a manager, a band manager, they have to wear a pork pie hat, a really loud shirt, and just be scummy motherfuckers. Like that's like law. I think.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, Phil is just like, these chicks show up to the house. And it's like, what? The pop those titties out. Come on.
Time to pop them yabbas out.
Yeah. Come on.
They are high schoolers. They are explicit about that. In fairness, though, that is not Phil. That is Demon Phil.
Well, that is Demon Phil. Yeah.
So.
But also, people look old as shit in this movie. I don't know how old anybody really is, but maybe it's just the time and the styles, but they look old.
I watched like this this is like a regular phenomenon. Like when you look at people wearing clothes that you recognize as being from a bygone era, it instantly makes you relate them to older people that you have seen dressed that way.
Yeah.
So it makes them look older. So like the perm hair, all that shit, like that's stuff that we don't see a whole lot anymore and haven't for many, many years. The like whatever the fuck John Michael Thor is wearing is like very specific to this place and time.
He in particular looked like so old to me at times, but maybe it's just the bad skin or something.
I think it's a phenomena of the human brain.
Maple syrup skin.
Oh man.
He's got the skin of a hot dog, but the hair of an old Chinese man.
It always comes back to Sonny.
Always.
The fucking I got a flashback just for a second. The manager calls the Yabos bazooms. These girls somehow just suss out where this band is at. They're like part of the band fan club.
Well, her mom is a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they show up in the middle of the night, and the manager like opens the door and's like, "Oh, the band will be down in 20 minutes. It's time to whip out those bazooms." Like, no. Fuck you, dude.
Hot tub Christianity.
Hot tub Christianity.
Well, I don't know. One chick is thinking about it. She's considering it.
She did. So there was a consideration there. It's like, very uncomfortable.
Then he just takes him down to the basement.
Brendan,
we
no.
never see him again.
Dude, that's the taco fuck station, the basement.
Seriously though, that scene, what is accomplished by any of that? Because they show up. They show up and you think, okay, red shirts. These are people that are going to be killed off by whatever's going on in this house. Just more bodies to throw on the pyre. Fine, great. More kill scenes, basically, which is the only thing that's going to help this movie. And then they just are sexually harassed and then recognize that it's a bad situation and go away. So these 30-year-old high schoolers are just in this movie for like 10 minutes that serves no purpose.
Yeah, maybe that was one of those scenes that was supposed to be shot and they just couldn't because they ran out of time.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe it was part of that timing constraint where they just couldn't. Yeah. They didn't have the extra days with those girls, so they're like, okay, well, instead we'll just have Phil.
We'll just do another sex scene,
creep, and just
fucking Phil.
Yeah.
The shower scene I have to linger on for a minute too, because there's the longest.
You always remember your first, don't you, Bob?
So the sexy shower scene. It lasts way too fucking long, and your boy Thor is getting his titties soaked up, and then it cuts to a scene in the barn. I think they like play a song, and there's a whole other scene that happens, and then they flash back to the shower scene again, and your boy Thor and his girls in the shower, but there's no longer running water. It's just like a dry shower. They're just standing.
I'm gonna make it
in
so
there,
dry for you.
And then their tongues are just fucking licking each other. They zoom in on the fucking tongues. Just
yes, that's what a boy likes.
It is
I thought
an
that
inverse
scene.
boner.
For some reason in my mind, it came right after another long sex scene, but I could be missing it. It did. Okay, no. I thought so.
Okay.
There's 3 couples in this movie, and they all get at least one sex scene.
Yeah,
or 3 couplings that happen. And I think in the case of the drummer, whose name I forgot, and whose accent is inscrutable, and the shitty girlfriend, I think they get 2, and one of them turns into a kill scene.
Dude, yeah, that drummer, right, oh my god, that accent, what is it?
I think he's trying for Australian,
but sometimes it's very clearly a British crossover.
Yeah,
I agree.
He's slipping back and forth between both Geico geckos. It's crazy.
And they're both terrible. Like they're they're never in the right lane. They're always swerving.
That man fucks with just his glasses on at night with the lights on. Glasses on.
Well, yeah.
Sunglasses.
I mean,
on.
you don't, Bob?
Dude.
He's also
no.
He's also
that's
like
my glam metal
terrible
sex
at sex
night
until he becomes a demon.
Oh my goodness.
He's also rocking the whitey tidies, and before he was a demon, was a 1-minute man.
Dude, we saw. Yeah, he became a sex demon, but like I did not appreciate how much thinly veiled male taint that we saw through those tighty whities. They were excessively tight and white, and thank God they were clean. That's all I can say. Did you? Okay, well, you more for you. For me,
show me the taint.
I want the taint.
Show me the taint. Man, I have so many notes on this movie. I can't even find the points I'm looking for, which is a problem.
I can't believe.
I can't believe it either.
Bob.
I can't believe it either. The drummer has like Animal from the fucking Muppets on his.
I saw
drum.
that. Man. Jim Henson did not get paid for this, I can assure you.
No, I'm sure. The fucking Canadians, they owe us.
He's also wearing like this glitter tie. It's just so sparkly. The outfits in this are wild. It's not just Thor.
Yeah, you're right.
No, it is. It's just hard to take your eyes off Thor because he's definitely the most loud of the bunch. Aesthetically. And not to mention the end of the movie where he goes full fucking like pro wrestler. With his goddamn like whatever metal studded onesie and shit.
Piece.
Like, and his fucking like bed head and like running mascara eyes. It's pretty fucking nuts.
Old diamond plated dick head ass.
Before he gets the hair all popping up when he does his battle, whatever, he's kind of got like a He-Man thing going on, right? Where especially with the chest popping and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, he's trying to go for that for sure.
Okay,
but he ends up looking like buff Chris Crocker, the Leave Britney Alone guy.
Okay, yeah, because then the ending of this movie, whoa, they go somewhere I was not expecting, but I mean. Well, I mean, I wasn't really expecting anything. But.
It is unending. It kind of invalidates literally everything else about this movie. Not that there was a whole lot of validity to most of it, but it basically does like it retcons everything that happens so that John Michael Thor gets to look like a badass, like I don't know, like
does he look
devil
like
fighter?
A badass?
Well, he thinks
that is clearly the intention. Is all I'm saying. I'm not positing that it's successful.
And the thing is, I mean, in a way, I mean, in a very limited kind of way, but the monster effects were looking okay. There's one in particular.
I'm shocked.
Well, hang on.
That's generous.
Well,
you have been very critical of like 1,000%
You're such a generous man.
I mean, I am a generous man, so let me spread my generosity around. So, two things pop out in my mind. The one is the arm coming out of the belly button out by the field. Like, okay, and that's a pretty fun-ish kind of effect.
And then it just starts feeling up Yabos because the woman just does not run away.
Straight to the Yabos.
Like, oh.
And then there was another one. I think it's when Phil's down in the basement. And you get, was that the scene where it's kind of got this, the demon, it's pretty much like a demon face with the kind of teeth or whatever.
I mean,
yeah, it's in the basement. Yeah, the face transforms and like bites the girl.
Yeah, I thought, that was okay.
Dude, I don't know, man. That's extremely generous because I remember that scene. I'll give them this. They did progressive makeup applications where they cut away and cut back, sort of like werewolf style, like, where it becomes progressively more grotesque. But on the final shot, when he goes to bite, you can see when he opens his mouth that his entire chin is just painted black and the teeth are just appended to the bottom. So his actual mouth is what's opening. And it just becomes like whatever effect was there that looked okay. And the minute he opens his mouth, suddenly becomes just fucking Spirit of Halloween again. Like it's rough.
Well, all right. I was trying to be generous.
I know.
Good for you. Let's finish the ending.
Oh, but what I was going to say, so leading up to that, what I was going to say, then it kind of goes off the rails somehow even more with there's just these puppets. They're puppets. One of them smoking.
They're hand puppets that are clearly like being hidden by
dick demon that's smoking. The little fucking jizzy dick demon.
Is that what that was supposed to be?
Dude,
a jizzy dick?
Like a dick. And then it spits into a cup earlier. It's like clearly jizz to me.
I thought that was going to be like poison or something, but it's like drooling in. I didn't take it as jizz.
Dude, that is jizz.
I don't see why it couldn't have been. Like it could have been anything. So
that is a dick ass demon.
And the demon is Beelzebub, who
My boy Bub.
Yeah, this just went wild, and then they kind of have a battle thing.
Yeah,
they have.
Oh my god, this
so
reveal.
He's throwing those like star things.
The starfish.
What are those starfish? What are they? What the fuck?
And he's just
are
like they're just
they?
getting slung on.
No.
He's just like it's Plan 9 from outer space level of like clearly fighting a prop, clearly making the prop jiggle to appear as though it's fighting you. It's 100% of what happens all the way, and including the main villain of this fucking movie, which is a 2 arms and a head of a demon, and it's the devil.
He does rip one of those starfish's asses in half. He finally like rips. So he's so. I love that they just make his chest extra like slimy and glistening.
It's just slimy. It's not even harmed. They couldn't even smear some shitty blood on there. It's just like, oh, gross. Like it's just not on his pecs.
The titties gotta glisten. They gotta glisten.
They got to.
They
Jesus
fucking.
Christ.
He and like the fucking Beelzebub, they like circle up, and they it looks like they're just kind of holding hands and dancing for a while.
Oh my
so
god!
What it looks, they're doing the
because he's holding it up. Like, and maybe one other guy is holding a pole on the other end and like moving it up and down a little bit, so it looks like it's gyrating. That's it.
God
it's
damn.
It's ridiculous, and talking about it's funnier than watching it alone.
Oh yeah, don't watch this alone. Don't watch it alone.
Terrible choice.
I think it's all really just this kind of metaphor for your dreams, you know, those artistic dreams that you're chasing, and they just they're battling with you. I gotta make it. I gotta really break through. I gotta write that next song. I gotta get over this hill. But it's about the journey, you know. It's not about, there's no goal to reach, you know. It's just about the work that you put in.
It's not about beating
that conversation.
It's not about beating the demon in the barn. It's about fucking in the shower.
It's not about dick demons that smoke or so. I love his whole explanation of I was alone the whole time. So all of these sex scenes that we just watched. So he's banging the demon.
That's just for the devil's.
Banging the demon.
I think he's just pounding off in the shower the whole movie.
I mean, that would explain why he was like incelly, like not interested in sexing at all. Like that was the only thing that his character was for the majority of this movie, was like driven to make music, annoyed that other people weren't as driven as him to some extent, and just completely neglecting his girlfriend. So I guess that explains why he didn't want to fuck, but then he just does. So it kind of invalidates itself twice over. I don't fucking understand. This man fucked a demon in order to get to the demon.
I got you, bro. I totally got you.
Yeah. He's really smart. He's playing 3D
I've been alone
chess
the whole time. When I fucked you,
here.
that was just me playing 3D chess. Yeah.
When I fucked you.
All part of the plan, bro.
Man. The van, positive. The van is really cool looking. It looks like a cool van.
I genuinely cannot remember what the van looks like.
It had like crushed red velvet like on the dash. I don't know. It looked like a giant ass van.
Cool.
I mean,
handcuffs hanging from the rear view, so you know.
Okay, yes, I did like the handcuff accoutrement. That was kind of fun. I give him that.
Happen with the handcuffs? Am I?
I don't think so.
About
No.
a different
I don't
movie?
think so.
Okay.
That dude did like go like Thor walked out to the van when they first got there to lock it up. And that man was locking his van for like 20 minutes outside.
Dude.
And his girlfriend hangs out the
there.
window and he's like, babe, I'm just locking up the van. And he just fucking stays out there.
I fucking love that because he goes out there and he's like acting kind of spooked because he sees somebody behind the window shade or whatever.
He looks up at the window.
Then it's his girlfriend.
It's just
and he's like, hey babe, I'm just getting something out of the car. As like you can't hear a word she's saying, but he's yelling as if she's like a few feet away from him. And then she looks back to him and she's like, kind of like, okay, but don't forget, I got titties up here. And she starts like caressing her titties, like, come on up. Like,
titties. And somebody steals the van apparently at some point.
dude.
Despite all the locking it up.
I think that was demon stuff. But...
Also, I'm trying to think. There was this line. The way they talk is ridiculous. So when Phil kind of goes missing, or when they hear and they go down the basement, and he says something that was kind of cracking me up, honestly, where it's like, Phil doesn't normally act like this. Oh, what did he say? But it's just like how no normal person would talk that way. Like they'll just throw in lines that are seemingly normal and then add on this extra bit that nobody would ever say.
One of the girls, Thor's girlfriend, says, "You're singing brought out the beast in me," and like fucking barks.
She fucking barked.
Nobody does that. Especially if you're like actually horny.
You're just not rock and roll enough, Bob. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, come on. What are you talking about, Bob?
I'm just too vanilla. Oh, vanilla Bob over here.
Vanilla Bob. That's
not Bark Bob.
Jesus, I don't know, man. This movie's ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about this.
The drummer is not hitting the drums. I don't know if you guys noticed that at all. But
there's not four singers in there, singing at the same time.
They didn't do it on the day.
What?
They didn't. I know. It's hard to imagine.
Blowing my mind.
Blowing your load.
No.
I will say ironically enough, a movie that focuses on a band has some of the worst audio mixing I've ever heard in my life in any movie I've ever seen ever. It's the audio in this movie is dog shit.
That's why I
fucking dweeb over here doesn't get rock and roll.
Well, no, I agree, because that's why at some point I just had to turn on the closed captions, because I was like, I can't hear what they're saying.
The version I watched was absolutely a VHS rip, and it sounded like it. There's definitely whole lines I missed, and there was no option for subtitles that I found. So I just kind of had to guess my way through it, and I really, really, truly do not think I missed anything.
I guarantee you did not. You did not.
No, except some funny quotes from my version. But yeah,
they tried to make like these funny little asides about Phil. This is what I was thinking about earlier. Like they talk, the way they talk about Phil is like supposed to be this crazy guy who's just like always getting it wrong and kind of fucking up. And they tell these like dumb as shit stories that are not humorous at all. Like it's like that time that he got lost at the Vatican and wound up in the Pope's private chambers. I was like, no, please stop telling us how fucking weird this guy is. Show us something. And then when they do, I don't like that either. So I guess fuck me.
There was a weird scene, like it was in between all the fuck scenes, where like the one girl that was sleeping with the Australian or British guy, like she really like opens up to him like in a pretty major way, and the dude just like falls asleep.
Oh no, that was not the drummer. That was the guitarist.
No, I don't think it was the drummer. Yeah,
I thought you said he wasn't the Aussie guy.
I couldn't tell the women apart,
he wasn't?
honestly.
Oh,
no, the drummer was the Aussie slash.
Yeah, the drummer was the Australian guy, huh?
Okay, maybe I mixed them up, which so sorry. So sorry.
No,
I shipped that couple. I wanted them to get together for sure.
Dude.
Yeah.
But also like
they were the newlyweds, right? Weren't they the ones?
No. The newlyweds were a whole other couple, and that their entire existence is being newlyweds. That was it.
Yeah.
And also your boy Thor, I guess, is just like dreaming these people up.
Yeah.
So like he's like, oh, it was all a ruse to trick you, demon.
He calls them shadows. He says they were shadows to trick you.
Yeah. It sounds like metal lyrics. Like I feel like it's just this is all about like making like this is definitely a vanity project, and it's just him working his hardest at the end anyway, to like even the parts where it's like he abstains from sex because he has more important things on his mind and shit like that. It's the kind of thing that you want to portray yourself as, is not like. But then you go and do a sex scene anyway, and like half the movie is sex, but like your character can't be blinded by the opposite sex. He has to have bigger things going on. You know what I mean?
Can't have sex. I gotta work on this podcast. I just got too much work.
Dude, I have sex while doing this podcast.
I know.
I need you
behind
to know
the
that.
scenes,
dude. We've had some behind the scenes.
Jesus.
We've had some behind the scenes. The soundtrack of this movie, speaking of, they have like these crazy like pan flute runs that just happen out of nowhere. It's like it's like nothing to do with like metal or like rock and roll. It's just like someone had a Casio, and that's what happened.
And then they made some other, like you were talking about this mixing. Did you notice that part in the middle of a fucking one of their music video segments where it just like they just pitch drop everything and slow everything down, or like do some weird effect and then just stop doing that and nothing happens? It means
nothing. Yeah. It's like,
why did that happen?
Is like maybe being taken over by a demon or something. I think that's what they're trying to portray, because it's like kind of from her POV. I'm being generous here. That's the best I got. I don't know. Nothing came from it. From what I can tell. But they did fuck next to the taco dinner kit. Thank God for that.
Gotta add the cream, of course.
Oh my God.
I am the cream.
Ooh, that dry shower hand job.
Okay. I had to find it. Okay, so I was driving me crazy. He says, Phil is irresponsible. What? Phil is irresponsible, but not this much so.
Wow. There's a line somewhere. I found it. Phil crossed it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that was making me question about too. I was like, do these guys really speak English? Because with the British and the Australian thing going on, and I was just confused, because there were elements of that kind of European rip-off glam metal thing going on. So I was like, maybe they don't speak English. I couldn't really tell sometimes. But
that's understandable.
Yeah,
it's understandable.
I don't know what to say. Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know.
The only other thing I kind of want to mention real quick is at the end when they're like fist fighting. Your boy Thor is like making eyes. He's like clearly flexing his fucking muscles like as hard as he can. And props to him. He's a big dude. But he's like making these like fuck eyes at the demon. Did you guys pick up on that? Like he's like kind of seducing the demon a little bit.
I mean, I feel like he's always in some kind of
seduction
sex
mode.
Yeah,
I think he's trying to give stank face, like like the whole end is like professional wrestling style, like promo cutting sort of things, where it's like I'm not really fighting something, but I have to look like I'm struggling. So stank face, that's what you got to do.
Oh, I read it as like fuck face, I guess.
Sometimes it's the same thing. Depends on what you're into.
That's Thor's O face. It's just kind of
damn.
It's just kind of.
Yeah, so I think we got at least 3. No, it's got to be more than that. 3 or 4 long extended sex scenes. 3 music video-esque segments.
Yeah,
and it still was short 10 minutes.
Yeah,
dude. It did not feel
and
like
it
it
still was only 87 minutes.
It's insane.
Damn. Yeah, this kind of went on and on and on.
I've never seen time warp that badly. Like the only movie that I can think of that was worse than this in that regard is The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living, etc., etc.
Oh God.
That one.
I'd watch this movie 100 times before I watch that again.
Absolutely true. Yes.
Yeah.
So, but like that's the one where it felt like I was literally in hell and not going to come out ever again.
I agree. I was upset about. I'm not like upset about this movie. It's bad, but like I hate that.
I will say though, it's kind of weird. Heidelberg's usually pretty consistent with his picks. He's picked some classic bangers.
Oh, he's fucking us.
I know that's just not usually his MO.
To fuck us? Well, now it is.
Well, I guess so.
At least he gives the reach around.
I mean, he did The Burbs. So. He did that one with the house. He did
The Burbs.
Life Force, Ravenous, Deliverance.
Yeah. That one with the guy.
Cujo.
Bangers.
The Hidden.
He did
good. Dude, The Hidden? Yeah.
The Hidden, that's the one I was trying to think of. Yeah, The Hidden.
The Entity.
Damn. Dude, the fuck, damn! And then this
know.
pile of shit.
I know.
The Cell. Yeah,
I think he's earned a pile of shit, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, he's got a pretty clean record for the most part, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a great movie.
Know what else to say about this? Actually,
I don't think we have to say another goddamn thing.
Nah, we did.
That's
our
probably
due
about it. Let's go ahead and wrap this up and rate it. Juice, kick us off. How do you feel about Rock and Roll Nightmare?
Oh, it's terrible. There's just nothing good about this for me. You know, like I said, I was being generous with some of the effects. I mean, if you shot this movie in 4 days for $50,000, then I mean, you know, that's something. That's good on you, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's terrible. I can't really give it more than a half star. I mean, I wouldn't give it a 0 because it's still, you know, you got some effects, you got some music going on that is produced into some capacity, and you know, you've put some effort in. So half star, and then you know, I'm man with the code, so I'll give half star for the Yabos, because Lord knows Yabos be popping up in here. So yeah, I'll give it a solid 1 star then, I guess.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah, that's Bob, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. Bob, out of 5, what you gonna give it? Rock and Roll Nightmare. Also, yeah, the 2 titles. We got 2 titles here.
Oh yeah. Edge of Hell, I think.
Yeah, I had to do a double take, and I was like, I do not want to watch the wrong movie. Lord knows.
Yeah, it's a bad movie, but thank God it's short. You know, 80 minutes.
Yeah.
The ending is hilarious and silly and pretty entertaining. Yeah, I don't know. It's just dumb. It's just a big dumb movie. If you watch it in a crowd, you have a beer or two, like you'll probably get some chuckles out of it. But like that's about it. You're not really missing anything if you skip it. I really wouldn't recommend anybody go out of their way to watch it. There's some wild trivia. Some of it I shared. We'll get into some more, which like added to my enjoyment of the movie a little bit. But like I don't know, there's better movies out there like this. I think if you want to watch like a heavy metal horror movie, there's really good ones, and there's some that are like not so good, but are probably a little more like goofy and funny than this are. Like I don't know that I could really think of a situation to watch this in, unless like the MST3K track is fucking banging and super funny, which it might be. I haven't seen it. Maybe that's the best situation to watch this movie in. I don't really recommend it.
Technically, for those who
riff tracks. Okay, yeah, so riff tracks. Yeah, it's a 1 star from me, boy Bob. It's not great. Ray and Deezy, what about you?
Ooh, so yeah, I'm gonna try and we've shat on this movie thoroughly as possible. I'm gonna try and lend my positivity, whatever I got to it here, and that's I agree with Justin. Like this movie is not good, but there is something like to being able to create any movie, and this feels like it feels like I said earlier, like amateurs that are really trying to make something happen, and they just don't have the skill, the know-how, or whatever, and they're making really like boneheaded decisions and doing like silly shit that doesn't really work and doesn't even necessarily strike a funny bone in me. But I gotta give credit for putting anything together where there was once nothing as a labor of love, and that is clear to me that this was on some level a labor of love, if for nobody else then for John Michael Thor. I think that's clear, and I respect that. I think it's not a movie that I would recommend to anybody. The only time it's one of those movies where like I could see somebody thinking it's so bad that it's hilarious. I could definitely see that, and maybe that's what Heidelberg thinks. We don't know, or I don't know anyway. And so like I could understand that. I didn't get that from this movie, and part of that might have been my own viewing experience. This is kind of one of those movies where if you don't experience it in the right environment, like there's like a 1% chance that you're going to be in the perfect environment where this is going to land just perfectly for you, and then you're going to love it forever. That happens all the time with random movies for people, and I could see that happening. But that is literally the only case where I can see this being watchable outside of like a riff track situation. I agree, like those definitely do fucking wonders for some of these bad movies. So I mean, respect for creating something that clearly meant something to them, but beyond that, this is a pretty stinky turd of a movie to watch alone on an afternoon when you can barely keep your eyes on the screen because it's not holding your attention. Yeah, so I'm giving it a 1 star as well. I don't want to give it a 0.5 because that's the score I gave the incredibly mixed up creatures, etc. And that movie deserves the lowest score I can give it. So
there you go.
1 star across the board.
Solid 1 star. It's been a minute since that's happened.
Yeah.
At least we're all united. We stand united.
It's rare. It's a rare situation. Yeah, solid 1 star from the Straight Shilling crew. As per usual, if you guys do pick a flick for us to review, we encourage you to send in a voicemail or an email with your own thoughts on the movie. And Hydraberg did send us a voicemail, so let's hear what Hydraberg has to say about Rock and Roll Nightmare.
Hey, what up, boys? It's your boy Hydraberg here calling in. You guys are covering my Patreon pick this week. Rock and Roll Nightmare, otherwise known as The Edge of Hell, or Edge of Hell, I think. You know it's always a good movie when it's got multiple titles. That's always a good sign. I decided to pick something a little different this time. We covered this on a Cut Above on episode 60. It was kind of brought to us by Spoils of Horror podcast, and I don't know, when I got to pick this time, I figured I'd pass it down to you fellas, and I wanted to see you smart guys have to talk about this insane bonkers film, where we have penis monsters, 15-minute cuts of just van cuts, just the van driving down the street. We have actual music videos, like 3.5 minute length music videos. We have some zany effects, some bad dialogue, bare-breasted women, dudes that rock. There's a lot to take in here with this movie. I know there's a lot going on, so I know the discussion is going to be deep. There's some great music. We Live to Rock, classic. Energy, great song. And just as you guys did tonight, accept the challenge. You guys accepted the challenge of my Patreon pick, and I really do hope that you like this film for what it does. It's got a twist ending that you never see coming. It's good for a laugh, man. I had a fun time just rewatching it just now. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy it. My review, I would give it a 2.5 out of 5. I think that's fair. It's not a good film, but for some reason I enjoy it. So, and I hope you guys have a good time with it. So keep it creepy, guys. Later.
Generous man.
That is quite generous.
Very generous.
Honestly, I'm mostly just flattered that he called us the smart guys. That's very overly generous of you.
I don't know if he meant it, but he did say it. So interpret as you will.
I'm gonna take it. I'm not a smart guy, so I'm going to take it for what it's worth. You know,
it's rare we get compliments, so we got to take them where we can get them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank God. Thank you, Hydraberg. We're smart. Thank you. Oh,
so Berg does like this movie on a so bad it's good level, and power to him on that.
2.5 out of 5. Whoa,
dude, that is. I love a generous man. Thank you, sir, for your
That's a good clip.
I love a generous man.
I love a generous man.
Oh, thank God.
We're hunting for dick.
We always are.
Got you saying some weird shit, Bob.
That's just what the show is, isn't it? I guess we gotta tell the Spoils of Horror boys to kindly eat our assholes for putting this on Hydraberg's
upon my dirty taint.
Unwashed, unwiped asshole.
There's a lot of dog shit being slapped out of that asshole.
Apparently, yeah.
But not enough. It's still pretty full, so yeah.
And we're the smart ones.
It's a meal, not a snack.
We're the smart ones. This conversation.
We have spent 10 to 15 minutes talking about assholes specifically.
Yeah, we use our time worse than the movie Rock and Roll Nightmare.
We don't have band footage to fill, so we gotta say stuff about
not
dog
yet.
shit.
Not till we shoot that music. Not
Whatever
until we
he
shoot
sings,
that music video for Gint Brisket. So
I just imagine a man in a gimp costume sitting over a dog bowl filled with ribs.
Dude,
and
that's
the song,
filled with brisket. There you go.
Can the
that's
song
the
be called Spooky? I did it all for the spooky. The spooky. That's the first.
Well,
hit.
the first hit is the Cooter song that they did.
I did it all for the Cooter.
Well, no, our Cooter intro.
Great Cooter. Okay, well, we'll revisit it. We'll figure it out.
We'll work it out. We're working out the
shopping it.
Yeah, it's trademark though. Trademark, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
All you listeners.
Hey, Bob.
Oh yeah, we're
gonna
doing
talk-
other things.
Yeah.
Thanks, Heidelberg, for picking this week's flick. Let's go ahead and get our Rotten Tomatoes segment, see what the critics and users think about Rock and Roll Nightmare. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these gentlemen guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is for Rock and Roll Nightmare on RottenTomatoes.com. We normally do both the critics and the user score, but today is going to be a little different because the critic we're trying to find out what the critics think about this movie, and apparently they just don't. They don't think about this movie.
What?
Uh,
There's 0 reviews counted.
What?
And I don't understand why, but they just gloss right over this one for whatever reason. So we're gonna just jump straight to our audience score, and there are fewer than 50 ratings on that front as well. So cult status not quite achieved. I'm gonna go ahead and wager. All right, I'm just gonna start with Bob today. There are, like I said, less than 50 ratings. What percentage of those ratings, Bob, do you think were positive for Rock and Roll Nightmare?
It's got to be dog shit low. I mean, I guess there's some sort of cult following, but like it's got to be overwhelmingly negative, I would think.
Jonestown, it ain't.
How low though? Do I go single digits? Like I feel like it could be right there. Let me get a 18%.
18 percentile juice. How about you?
I was gonna go lucky number 13 either way.
13. Okay. Okay. By 1 point, somebody has succeeded.
Whoa.
This audience score at fewer than 50 ratings, rather, is 16%. Bob's gonna take it by a hair.
Shit. Sweet mesquite.
Well, no, like he was 1 point closer than you.
Closer,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa, Bob, hell skeet.
Dude. Close race. Couldn't be closer.
Yeah.
It's an honor just to be considered.
Thank you for considering me.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's
there are literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 written user reviews on here, not just scores. I'm gonna read the lowest one because there are actually some 3.5 star, 3-star reviews on here, which is mind blowing.
Is the user
So here's the lowest one.
Booty
Hydraberg.
Strawberry 69
Booty
at ACA.
chocolate covered starfish strawberries. Here's a 1.5 star review. It's super hilariously awful to the point that I love it just for that very reason. There's something about watching a film created by a group of people at the very apex of delusion.
All right, yeah.
That's a good line. I like
that's
that
fucking
one.
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's read more. We could read all of them and be fine on time. At least the title of the movie is appropriate because it really is a rock and roll nightmare. While it certainly doesn't disappoint when it comes to heavy metal, there are times when it just feels overdone. The film itself tricks you into thinking it might be fun, but the story is rather muddled and confused. There's more to this. It goes on like this.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know, not particularly funny and very, very generous again, I would say. I'm going to read one of the higher scored reviews because I'm just too curious. This is a 3.5 star review. Everything I've ever seen Thor in was so bad it's good. Do not watch this if you want to see a good movie. If you want to see a so bad it's good movie, then is a masterpiece. Man.
No, it's not.
Grammar. Yeah, it's not hitting that button for me.
Masterpiece.
It's a good, if you want to see a so bad, comma, it's a good movie, comma, movie, semicolon, then this is a masterpiece.
Damn.
And we need to be on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
We should.
So let's take the time to promote ourselves one more time and
One more
say
time.
that please.
You want to hear us shit on more things?
Some reviews. How many more do we need?
On iTunes,
On
20,
iTunes.
20 more, I think.
20.
5-star reviews
Give us
on
a
iTunes.
5-star review on iTunes so we can write for Rotten Tomatoes.
We can write dog shit reviews like this on fucking.
They can
Rotten
quote us
Tomatoes.
as saying, "We will slap the dog shit out of your asshole if you
Yeah.
watch this movie."
It'll
Thank
at least
God.
be funny every time.
Well,
Dude,
Mileage may vary.
well, funnier than most of this dog shit.
well.
Well.
Funny to us, audience of us. I will take it.
That's
Hey,
all
there's a
that
lot of
matters.
trivia. Let's do some trivia. Let's do
All
it.
right, you want to do some?
It's totally time for trivia.
All
I
right.
can't
Yeah.
imagine there's much like there's the most trivial trivia of all time was about to come our way, right?
No, there's a lot. There's a lot. John Michael Thor is a fucking character, and I got a lot of information about him as a person. He was born in 1953. He goes by just Thor. He's a Canadian bodybuilding champion. He's an actor, I suppose. He's a songwriter, a screenwriter, a historian, and a musician.
A historian.
He was he's the first Canadian to win both the Mr. Canada and Mr. USA titles ever, I guess, during his bodybuilding career. He's achieved over 40 titles around the world. As a musician, he's frontman for the heavy metal band Thor, billing himself as the legendary rock warrior, quote unquote.
Okay.
He's been in a couple other movies: Zombie Nightmare, 1987, and Fubar, 2002. There was also a documentary made about him called "I Am Thor" that came out in 2015.
I would watch that.
I guess he took the movie on tour, not his band. But he did play I guess a short set after each screening he did.
Man, what a steal! You get
as Triton or as Thor.
So I believe Triton was specifically created for this movie. But
yeah, that's why I asked.
Yeah, so I don't know. I really can't answer that question. I don't know.
Gotcha.
There's also a bunch of comic books written about him in the 80s. They called Thor Rock God. So
Thor Rock.
So really,
Hog?
Thor Rock God.
Thor Rock Hog. Thor Rock Hard Hog.
Rock Hard Hog. Thor's Rock Hard Hog.
I love that I was like, you know what? I bet we could sell some comics if we just slapped the word Thor in big letters on top.
Yeah.
I'm sure they did. He's released about 40 records, if you can believe that. They've all been released, not all, the vast majority have been released under the name Thor, but also released as Thor and the Imps, Tritons, and I think most importantly, I think there's 2 records released as Thor and the Ass Boys.
I'm sorry, what?
You cannot make this shit up.
I'm
Thor
sorry,
and
what?
the Ass Boys. You cannot make this up.
Yes,
Dude, we got
that's what a boy likes.
We gotta find that vinyl. We gotta get that. We need
I want
that on
that
the
Ass
wall.
Boys vinyl.
We need that on the
Yeah.
wall.
Oh shit!
That's got to go in the blue room and or the tiki room if we can get 2 copies.
Thor and the Ass Boys. Oh, I
Yeah.
got Thor and all of the Ass Boys.
That's
of
the
course.
ultimate straight chilling gift right there.
Dude, if you can find it, send it our way, please.
Hell
We
yeah.
need to do a
That rules.
Nardwar
Dude,
interview,
yeah.
and that's what he can
Find
bring
him.
us. Thor and the Ass Boys.
Find Thor.
Dude, that would
Yeah.
be great. Honestly, everything that you've just told me about Thor makes me respect this man a lot more.
Right,
Like,
I agree.
That's
I agree.
prolific as fuck.
He's
Like,
living
yeah.
a kind of life.
Dude,
I'm
that
not
is
done.
a singular man. I know.
I'm not- I'm
Please
not done.
keep
Going.
regaling us.
This
So,
is more
I-
interesting than the film.
I agree.
For
I
sure.
completely agree. So he's a native of Vancouver, John Thor. He's a sports enthusiast, which makes sense. Apparently, he resurrected the Vancouver Millionaires, which is a hockey team. And Vancouver's only Stanley Cup championship was from the 1950s. He brought it back, I guess, in the 80s, and has since sold it. I don't know if they're still an operating team. I'm not totally sure, but I know the brand is still operating, so you can buy classic merch and shit. But I don't know if they're
That's
still
rad.
playing hockey. So
Okay.
something else that he got into, which is interesting. Rusty Hamilton, the character in the movie, was actually John Michael Thor's wife. So she's in this.
Wait, which character was that? The girl, the woman he was with?
Yeah, the
in the
woman
movie?
in the shower and
Shower.
yeah.
Okay. I just want, yeah, it'd be weird if she was one of the others.
Yeah.
Is there anything else was seen. So yeah, this is the last bit here. In 2005, there was a sequel to this movie called Intercessor, Another Rock and Roll Nightmare with John Michael Thor.
I saw that.
Seen that.
No. I saw that information and I looked into it. Yeah, I have not seen the movie. No, it gives Return to Sleepaway Camp vibes,
which is tough.
Damn, if Bob thinks it's tough, I never want to watch it.
Dude,
you're not going to recapture Lightning in a Bottle. And
that's a hard road, dude. It is.
If Bob can't appreciate your film, Soju definitely will not.
It does make me wonder how culty the fan base is for that. Maybe it's just like fan base for him, and like this documentary sort of like put a little extra fuel under the fire to maybe make a sequel to this for new fans. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe. It seems like I've never heard of this movie before. Like even in the circles we run in, it seems like I ought to have. Like
I'm sure it's really good, and we gotta review it probably.
Our circles run deep.
We have deep circles.
Yeah,
they're not perfect, but they are deep. That's it. That's all the trivia.
What the fuck?
They're oblong.
Let's talk Coot
in the file.
Let's talk Cooter of the Week.
Let's talk Cooter of the Week. Let's do it.
Straight chillin'.
Cooter of the Week.
That was Cooter of the Week by Gimp Brisket.
Gimp Brisket. And next up is your boy Soju Stains explaining what the fuck a cooter is.
Oh, Cooter's character type in a straight chillin' exclusive. Cooter must hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a cooter, but we want the cooter with the most points. The 5 points of cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. Boys, this should be fairly simple.
I think we have a pretty clear front runner, but I'm going to. I think most of the cootery behavior, like a majority of it, happens in just the one scene with our traveling young ladies, the fans, and the would-be groupies with Demon Phil. So I think Demon Phil's on the chopping block. I would parse because regular Phil seems like an okay dude. He's just kind of apparently ridiculous.
Well, then we could just lump the demon in there, just our boy Bub.
Right. You could really just say Bub. Really, yeah, that's true. But
so
that scene is the chief among them.
Okay, well, let's take that scene specifically. Looking attire. Check.
Absolutely,
dude. That
the
shirt,
pork pie, baby.
the guitar
pork
shirt,
pie combo.
Oh my lord!
Wow, glasses, man.
Yeah, sexual deviancy. Check. Trying to pop those yabos out.
Those teenage yabos,
bazookas, or whatever the fuck.
Presumably.
30-year-old teens.
.com.
God damn. Canada's
We've
weird.
all been there.
To Canada? Yes, we have all been there.
Actually, I've never been to Canada.
Me either. That's a lie.
All right. So manipulation. Well, the demon is presenting himself as Phil. So
yeah,
that's manipulation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Smug arrogance. Well, yeah, I would say the attitude is like, whoa, why are you here? Well, I mean, why? What are you even going to be here then if you're not just going to pop your yabos out?
Are those girls even real? To me, this movie feels like it's just two characters. It's John Michael Thor imagining everybody, and then the demon, and that's
fair.
it.
That's
so,
fair.
And I think they are both cooters. To be clear, I think so. Basically, everybody in the movie's a cooter. I think. Like,
I guess,
okay,
yeah.
so
But he also
say...
fucks John Michael Thor as this is.
We don't.
I don't understand that. It's fucking me up. Like
they're just fucking. It's just a man fucking a demon.
He's fucking a demon, and they both think they're getting one over on the other guy. Like it's like it reminds me of that Arrested Development season 4 bit where fucking I don't know. It's too tough to describe, but like two dudes basically spite fucking each other wearing masks of each other.
Oh my god. That's some dark shit, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think let's just lock this shit up.
It's such a dark image. I can't shake it.
Yeah. All right. So everyone's a
think they're
cooter.
just
This
all
movie's a
cooters.
cooter.
all
Hydraberg's the cooter
cooters.
this week for picking.
It's that's the best.
That's the goal.
Everyone but
Hydraberg has
John
always
Michael
picked
Thor.
movies to have some crazy cooter until it ultimately leads to
Is him.
Yeah.
Thor's the only
All in
non-cooter,
all.
except that he also fucks a demon just to trick it.
Well, no, he's manipulative then because he's creating all these people so he can fuck a demon.
He's
so
getting at least one
Oh,
the manipulation
I mean,
is his entire movie.
Entire manipulation,
Yes.
smug arrogance. That's three no-brainers right there. Like,
Yeah.
check.
patheticness. Yeah.
Sorry, Thor.
Probably, yeah.
You sometimes you hunt cooters long enough to become the cooter.
He's got a really nice van though, but it still gets stolen, so that's pathetic.
Wow.
He's got a real
Himself?
nice van.
Does the van even exist? Fuck.
I don't know. How did he get there?
I've been manipulated. I don't know. He's an angel, intercessor.
Oh,
Everybody's a cooter. We got them all.
We got 'em.
Especially Hydraberger. Fucking A. Let's we've been watching literally everything in the world. Let's talk about it real quick.
Hey, gang, what you been watching?
Dude, Randy, what you been watching? I know it's a lot.
I mean, do we want to cover all of the stuff that we're covering for the? I don't think that's
I would say
necessary.
just listen to our wrap ups.
Yeah, listen to our wrap ups. Look at our review articles. Yeah.
Chattanooga Film Festival wrap up has been recorded. BFON wrap up episodes coming soon. We've been writing reviews on our website. Fucking a lot every day reviews coming out. Check all that shit out. A lot of new releases that if you have any interest in them, check them out. Like 30, 40, 50 new releases, like a lot.
I think in like 10 days I've watched 30 films.
It's insane.
That is insane.
It's a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna gloss over that stuff, which honestly leaves a pretty short list because there's not there wasn't a lot of time for other things. I'm still deep in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's a very fucking good game. It's everything I wanted it to be, honestly. It's great. And I've found some shit that I never anticipated being in this game. It's fabulous. Let's see. I watched Missing, the spiritual successor to the film Searching, which is a found footage filmed entirely from a computer of a young girl who is trying to find her mom, who went on vacation and went missing, basically. And we see everything that happens on her desktop. We see her going through chat logs and trying to like do all this stuff. It sounds less interesting than it is. I really liked Searching a lot. That was with John Cho, and it was a similar situation where he's trying to find his daughter. And I think both of them are really, really fun movies, man. It's a really good and smart and impeccable use of modern technology to create a found footage film. So I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's quite I don't like it quite as much as I liked Searching, just because the novelty, it was just a little bit lower this time around, and I wouldn't want to see like endless versions of this same thing. But I'm happy that we got a second one. It did some interesting things, and I really appreciate that they use like real like computer software and like they use like Gmail and all these other, like they don't fake it, because that always rings so hollow on films when they do that. The downside to that being that Google got a payday from this movie, so oh well, can't have it all.
Google.
I watched
Google.com.
Watched the new film Run Rabbit Run with Sarah Snook, which is quite Babadooky in its attempts to do like this sort of like mom and daughter, in this case, having troubles, a lot of grief mixed in, a lot of troubles mixed in. I would say that it's a really well acted movie. It looks pretty good, and it's got some like some cool use of like the rabbit as a symbol, at least like visually, aesthetically. But man, the story just kind of is paint by numbers, in my opinion. I don't know. The story did not really capture me, and it didn't seem like it was breaking any new ground or doing anything that we haven't been seeing since in the wake of the Babadook, as it is, and it doesn't help that it's a very Aussie film, also much like Babadook, and it's like Sarah Snook is great. She's really like a fucking phenomenal actress, and she's no different here, no worse for the wear for it, but the material is just not great. in my opinion. It's fine. It's maybe worth a watch, but I don't think that it's going to be winning a whole lot of favorite awards this year, at least not for me. And then last but not least, in preparation for another recording I've got coming up with our very own Caitlin from Plug It Up Podcast on the Plug It Up Podcast, rewatched Whatever Happened to Baby Jane with Joan Crawford and Betty Davis. And I just really love that movie. You're going to get a chance to listen to me talk about that with Caitlin if you'd like on Plug It Up. But yeah, so I don't want to like overplay my hand here or whatever, but it's just such a fucking rock solid psychological thriller of a movie that kind of, at least to my mind, is like it really, I think, accelerated that genre and to become sort of like the bigger thing that it was for many years and still is to some degree. I think it's a sort of a tent pole in that subgenre, in my opinion. It's like Hitchcock and then that, and like, I don't know, several others, of course, Soylent Green and shit. But the fact that it was in the 60s, it was a choice to film it in black and white to give it a little bit of grunginess. It's just fucking, it's well made. I'm just going to say that. It's a great movie that's well made, and it's well worth your time. So that's really all I had time to watch besides... oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not correct. I did catch the tail end of Mad God on Shudder the other night, and I had seen like the first 30 minutes of Mad God already, and I saw like the last 30 minutes, and I can't even imagine what the middle part is like. It's an extremely inscrutable film in a lot of ways, but buddy, it is super fucking impressive looking. So I enjoyed that. I had a good time. Good smoke on hand. It was good.
I imagine that would improve the film for sure.
Maybe we'll cover it one day.
No.
Perhaps. I almost put it on my animated poll, but I was like,
I was kind of surprised you didn't. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh God.
It was close.
Oh.
Juice, what you been watching?
Dude, the only thing outside of all the movies from the festivals is Jaws. I made time to watch Jaws for the holiday, for 4th of July. Surprise. It's awesome. Every year I say like, oh, I'm gonna make more time to watch all the sequels, and I always something going on, so I never do. So yeah, just watch OG Jaws, and it's fantastic. Great feels and great way to move right into spooky season. It's all Halloween from here, baby.
It is.
So yeah,
true.
That's it. Bob,
Pumpkins.
what you been watching?
I also saw Jaws for the 4th of July. We went up to Sunray Cinema and we watched it. And it was a sold out screening, and it was super fun. Like a perfect
Did you
way
crush
to
the can?
Yeah, we had the Narragansett and, did the can crush and everything. It was great, man. Great way to cap off the 4th. The movie is fantastic. I did recently watch Jaws 2. Not so good. I don't know that you're missing much, honestly. Just
I think 3 starts to get funny, and then 4 like is it kind of horseshoes. You're either teeter on the edge of it being like so bad it's hilarious, or too bad to be hilarious.
Yeah,
I gotta watch 3 and 4. I have not seen those, but
oof.
Maybe eventually. I guess I don't have to, but I probably will. I did finish watching The Idol. It was only 5 episodes.
Did it live up to your hype, Bob?
No.
No. What?
It like stinks. It started like super edgy in a way that I didn't know I liked, and then by the end of it, I was like, "Oh, that was cute." Like they like they thought they were doing some stuff, but it just didn't. It rang hollow as fuck. It really felt like, to me, honestly, like maybe whoever was writing it versus whoever was directing it. Maybe they had like multiple writers. I don't know. It felt very of two minds, and it felt pulled in two ways.
They had it finished before The Weeknd got involved, or like 80% done, and then had to scrap a bunch of shit. Yeah,
dude.
He had a lot of say in the end. That was what most people seem to be blaming his involvement.
Yeah,
well, whatever happened completely neutralizes anything they were trying to say, and at the end of the show, it's just a big pile of fucking nothing. If I'm being honest, it is. It's like. It's just fucking nothing. It's not very good. Don't waste your time. I watched Asteroid City, the most recent film put out by your boy Wes Anderson. It's not my favorite Wes Anderson movie. It's kind of middling, I suppose. It feels kind of like I don't know, the way the story is given, because Wes Anderson likes to present his movies in a way that's not straight up like film. He'll kind of frame it in the way of chapters from a book or pieces from a newspaper. This is sort of done in a way that's kind of a stage play, but also mostly not kind of a stage play. I feel like his trying to tell the story in the way that's framed in people presenting it on stage is very distracting and takes away from the story. I wish it would have just been like more of a straight ahead narrative and not. It feels like he's getting his own way for no real reason. I just don't feel like it adds anything to the story. But it's an interesting story nonetheless. The cast is amazing. Visually, what are you going to say about Wes Anderson? It's always to the nines. Like, you can't really improve upon his style. Yeah. It's of his own, and it looks well. You could change it.
I know what you're saying.
But I mean,
I know
it is his own, and like, he perfected it. It's all right. I think it's worth watching. The Bear. I watched season 2 of The Bear. It's fucking incredible. One of the best things I've seen all year. Period. That show is so fucking good. Watch it immediately is my recommendation. The 6th episode specifically, amazing.
Is that what I've seen the Christmas episode brought up? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Apparently that's the one. Last season they did. Christmas. There was that one movie.
Yeah.
There was. I'm sorry. One episode. Everybody was like, "This is like pinnacle," and that's what's happening with this episode.
Yeah. Season 2 has one of those episodes where it's like fucking insanely good, like crazy good. Do no research. Just watch it. That show is amazing. Watch it now. Black Mirror season 5 or 6. 6. I watched that too.
All of it?
Yeah, all of it. It's got like 5 episodes. It really leans horror, honestly, in a way that's it doesn't get really like hyper focused on the technology aspect of it, which I guess if that's what you're really into when it comes to Black Mirror, you might be a little disappointed. But of course, I'm not. If it leans into horror, that's fine with me. That's kind of what I prefer anyways. I really like this season, honestly. I was thinking about doing a mini cast on it. I might record one here shortly. I highly recommend it. I think Black Mirror is consistently fantastic. I don't think this season really like faults in any way other than it kind of pivots away from the technology. So
I heard a lot of people complain about last season and saying this one is a little bit more of a return to form. Actually,
really?
At least,
so
I don't know. I guess
season, not completely, at least.
I didn't.
I'm not sure.
Mostly just out of sheer lack of time and drive. But like, I love so much of the Black Mirror.
Yeah.
And I don't really need it to be technologically focused either. I do like that aspect of it, and I think that's smart. But I also know that is it Charlie Brooker, the creator? I think that's his name.
I don't know.
Anyway, like I know that it was like a concerted effort to break people of this idea that it was strictly a technology show.
It does that's for sure.
That sounds like it's what happened. So
there's the longest episode of it is actually I would consider a full blown horror comedy. So it's
really,
it's kind of different, and so I loved it though. I thought it was great. So check it out. Just know that it's, I guess, a little bit different. I watched a bunch of other stuff that I recorded mini casts on. I don't know. That's it. That's all I'll talk about the show. We do have one voicemail this week, so let's go ahead and get into our hotline screens.
Oh shit, that's my cue.
Hotline screens.
All right, if you guys are listening and want to call in, leave a voicemail for next week's show, hit us up at 904-638-3231. We do have one voicemail this week from our very favorite, special, articulate boy, Kyle. We look forward to his voicemails every time. And let's go ahead and hear what Kyle has to say.
Ooh, hard-hitting stuff.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, if I'm being honest.
Kyle, interesting.
Always gives us something gives us a whiff of something interesting every time.
Something to really inhale and ponder.
Something to really cherish.
Let this be a line in the sand for us here. If you want to call us and give us too much shit, we will make you sound like shit. That's the guarantee we give. There's no guarantee we will play any of your horse shit. So stop playing dumbass games if you don't want to win dumbass prizes. Thank you. Good night.
We'll play your dog shit, your little rosebuds, but not your horse shit. Not your piles of shit.
We'll slap it out of your ass.
But thank you, Kyle. Please do call in.
Thank you. Yeah, call in anytime.
Short and sweet, of course.
Just like Mama used to make. Hit us up, 904-638-3231. Do you guys have prompts you want to throw out for next week's show?
What's next week? Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
You're asking the same question. So next week we're going to be talking about another Patreon pick. This one was chosen by Carmen D. The movie is Nothing But Trouble from 1999. Or sorry, 1991.
I'm not.
Yeah, I was going to say. Really, the Dan Aykroyd film? Well, I guess it kind of got buried. But that's one I know, Bob, you have a history with. But I don't know. I guess that kind of works with the question I was going to ask, or the prompt I was going to give, which is, I'm just curious if there's a movie that anybody wants to put out there as being like a so bad it's good movie, or so, I don't know, like an unusual movie that nobody else is going to like. Nobody else really seems to like or find the value in except for you. It seems like Hyderberg finds value in Rock and Roll Nightmare. We didn't see that value ourselves. But, I respect that there's like movies that speak to people on a level that's kind of hard to define. So I want to know what those are, and maybe, we'll find something that we can attune to as well. So call in with that shit. And let me know if you think that Dan Aykroyd's nose looks like a dick.
Whoa.
I mean, it does, for sure. I think it's a great question, honestly. I think the movie we're talking about next week absolutely fits the bill for me. I don't know that I could ever call it a good movie, but I fucking love it. Spoilers for next week. I don't know. Juice, do you have any other questions?
Damn, his nose does kind of like
it does. It looks like a dick. Yeah,
that's weird. That's freaking me out.
Dick nose.
Yeah,
Aykroyd.
No, that sounds good to me.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, call in. Let us know. Like specific gems for you.
Yeah.
Let us know.
With a low success rate for everyone else.
Yeah, 904-638-3231. Yeah, next week, Nothing But Trouble from 1991. Slam it into your eyeballs. Nothing but trouble. You got to give them pitches trouble, Check it out. Hopefully you'll love it. Until next week, hit us up on all the socials. You know where we are, Straight Shooting Podcast across the board. We're on Threads. Threads? I don't even know. The new fucking Twitter that doesn't matter. We're on there. Follow us.
They zucked my Twitter.
They zucked my tweets. Check that out. Next week, Joe Bob Friday. Hang out with us. Until next week, as always, all you mother truckers, please keep chilling.
I'm going to pay you $100 to fuck off.